Good evening, my name is Garrett, and welcome to The Last Call. Tonight's versus is a Jack Daniel's number 7 coming in at a 40% ABV, no age statement, versus Jack Daniel's Bonded coming in at a 50% ABV, no age statement. But for all intents and purposes, we know it's at least 4 years old. So, Jack Daniel's Bonded recently came out and added to their core lineup, and I wanted to put up against each other with the standard Jack Daniel's. I think there's a lot of you out there that are curious, is the hunt and the increase in cost worth it to you? So let's just get into it. Also, reviews on both of these and some other Jack Daniel's products will be linked up above and down below for you to enjoy after this video. Now, this is a brand new bottle because I was out of Jack Daniel's. Crazy, I know. Boom. I mean, Jack Daniel's is one of those classic Tennessee whiskeys. So who could say no to it? But I actually was hunting and found a really good sale on it. So I was like, well, I need a new bottle anyways. Now, for those of you at home that don't know, the big differences on Bonded is the 1897 Bonding Act, which allowed distilleries of whiskey and brandy to kind of have a seal of approval, essentially. Now, for those of you at home that are not too familiar with the Bonded program, essentially in 1897, the government wanted a way for distilleries to be able to have kind of like a seal of approval. And so whiskeys and brandy can be bottle and bond. Some stipulations they put up there was it has to all come from one master distiller, so you can't change in that process. It also has to be all the grain used has to come from that same season, and it has to be under a bonded warehouse by the government and aged for at least 4 years and at 50% ABV. A lot of stipulations there, but it's part of that Nintendo seal of quality sticker kind of concept. You know that what's in there is exactly what they said it is. So let's get into the comparisons. And yeah, there is definitely a color difference. The Bonded is a couple shades darker than the standard. Yeah, that's crazy. I knew it was darker, but even in the bottle, it doesn't look too much darker. But once you get them in their glasses, it's a significant difference. Let's start on this Jack Daniel's. Yeah, a lot of classic notes to it. You get a little bit of that maple sweetness, a little bit of oak in there, a little bit of sweetness, but it's got that maple syrup quality to it. Very, very almost, it doesn't quite go earthy, but it just goes a nice brown sugar maple sweetness. Nothing too crazy there. Very classic for Jack Daniel's and Tennessee whiskey in general, but just nice, simple, real no ABV on the nose either. But nice maple sweetness with that brown sugar just gives you that classic, it feels good. Let's go on the Bonded now. Here, it does remind you a lot of this. It gives you that same kind of mapleness to it. Gives you a bit of that sweetness, but it goes to more like honey, dark honey sweetness. And here you're getting a little bit of that honey sweetness, but no, this goes more brown sugar than honey for its sweetness, where you're still getting a bit of that brown sugar here, but you're getting more darker honey. Yeah. And personally, I get a lot of like a nutty quality on the nose. Like peanut quality. Yeah. And you do get a bit of that nuttiness here. And the funny thing is, even with that 10% bump in ABV, you really don't notice it on the smell. It doesn't come across abrasive or even a higher proof. It just kind of gives you that more mature Jack Daniel's. Well, let's go for taste here. And here you're getting a lot of those classic flavors. Getting that bit of the brown sugar sweetness. You're getting that bit of oak in there. That maple factor is doubling down in its finish. And it's nice, and it's simple, and it's pleasant. And I think that's one thing that's nice about Jack Daniels. One thing that people in the whiskey world, we tend to forget about. There's nothing wrong with simple. You can have something easy. You don't have to sit down and investigate every drink you ever have. ABV does show up a little bit, but it's not enough to kick your teeth in. Just nice and simple. Get that nice sweetness in there. And beautiful maple, that bit of oak, a little bit of a charry note going on there in the finish too. It's just nice and easy to drink. Let's go for the bonded. And here you're getting that dark honey sweetness. It definitely does. The brown sugar doesn't come through quite as much. It's still there. That charriness is there, however. And then here I get like freshly shelled peanuts. Like you crack the nut, you throw the nuts on the, throw the shell on the ground, and you pop some peanuts. That's the quality I get in the bonded. It feels so much more almost earthiness to it, but it's just got so much, it's got a bit more shoulders to kind of throw around, and it brings that to the table. Second sip gives me more of that dark honey note, a little bit of that sugar, that little bit of that charry oak notes in there. But right from the mid palate all the way through the finish, this beautiful nutty peanut note that is almost, again, it vaguely reminds me of being at restaurants that give you a bucket of peanuts and you crack the shells, throw them on the ground, and it gives you that kind of sensation, that smell, the taste, the texture. It's just got a little more heft to it. And that's what I like about it. So, let's talk about market price on the two and kind of wrap things up. In my market, I got this on sale for $19. And most of the time, however, I can find it between $22 to $24, sometimes $25, depending on where I'm shopping. The bonded I picked up for $34. Online, I'm already seeing this one being overpriced because people are scalping it and some stores are jacking up the price on it. Don't overpay for the bonded. It's part of their core lineup according to them, so there's going to be plenty out there. If I had to put the two next to each other, obviously I'm going to pick this, mainly because it brings us so much more flavor to the table as long as I'm drinking it neat. If I'm looking for a mixer or something to throw on the rocks, the standard Jack Daniels is a hard one to pass up, especially for its price point. Again, $19 for that? It's not a bad bottle. I've paid more for less quality than what Jack Daniels brings to the table. Is it, again, if I paid $19 for this and $33 for this, is it worth that much of a jump? For me, it would be. However, if you're a Jack Daniels lover, the MSRP on this is $30. So again, if you're normally paying $25 for this and you can find this for $30, for a $5 increase, it's a no-brainer. Do it. Enjoy it. But if you're looking for something simple and to save a couple bucks, standard Jack Daniels brings enough of those common flavors to really just get you home, where the bonded is definitely more for I want to sit down and really kind of sip on something and enjoy it. So yeah, there you have it. Jack Daniels number 7 versus Jack Daniels bonded. If you have a question about either bottle, let me know in the comment section below. I will do my best to answer it. And if you have any specific spirit I should go looking for, let me know down below. I love doing these verses, so let me know some comparisons you would like to see as well. And as always, may your last drink of the night be the best one.